everybody. Welcome back to the Blonde Informants. It's Karen.
And Mariah.
And we are here today to talk about
Diddy and Parasites.
Diddy and Parasites. They're almost like the same thing.
Yeah. They are.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, we're gonna dive into this whole Diddy conversation because everybody's talking about it. And as a child of the 90s, you know, I kind of came of age in the 90s, so I'm well versed in the old P. Diddy.
Yeah.
But the reason we want to talk about it, it's not the reason that I think everybody else is talking about it, because we could sit here and talk about who are all the celebrities, who are all this stuff, and oh my gosh, what were they doing? And it's like, look, folks, we already know about Epstein. We already know about P. Diddy.
Yeah.
We already know that sex trafficking is a billion-dollar industry in this globe. And it's like, okay, why is it only when we hear about Nickelodeon and Disney or P. Diddy that we're like, oh my gosh, they're, you know, doing crazy stuff with kids? They are doing that already. Why are we not outraged already about this?
Right.
Seriously.
Like, we only get outraged when the news cycle hits about someone famous, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think it's disgusting and it's horrific. And the thing is that the reason I think that people want to know who's involved in this is because I think people really want confirmation that the people we already suspect are part of this world are part of this world. Because for me, I just want the validation of people like Oprah and people like Bill Gates and all these other people that were involved. Yeah, all these elites are partaking in this evil and harming children and doing despicable, horrible things.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I kind of feel about it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and I mean, yeah, I agree.
yeah.
Sorry.
yeah.
Jay, cut that.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. Okay. All right. And okay, we're back.
So, yeah, I think one of the interesting things I'm going to bring up is there's a place called the National Center on Sexual Exploitation, and they do a lot of work in the space of trafficking. And the thing that really ticks me off, the thing that ticks me off really bad is that when you Google Nkosi, which is their name, National Center on Sexual Exploitation, the only thing that comes up is a bunch of Chinese gibberish and websites that look totally illegitimate.
Is that DuckDuckGo?
Yeah. That's kind of like, you know what, today I was just for fun, I Googled why Christians should not vote for Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
I just put that into Google, and you know what came up? The entire first page was all news stories about
why Christians should vote for Kamala.
all the Christians that say you should vote for.
Right.
So it didn't even answer my question. Now, if I was to put in why Christians should not vote for Trump, I guarantee the first page would be loaded with plenty of that.
Side note, can I tell you this? I forgot to tell you about this.
Yes.
So this was interesting. I saw this, I think it was somewhere on social media, but I looked and it's a real thing. So on Snapchat, they have that AI predictive text.
Yeah.
Okay. And this lady, she put into the predictive text, text box or whatever. She was like, okay, so what are things like in 2027 with Kamala Harris as president?
No.
And it answered.
No.
And it said, oh, well, she reversed a lot of the climate problems.
No.
And it listed all these things that she did in the future.
Oh, my gosh.
And the lady was like, oh, that's weird. Okay. So she kept, like egging it on and, asking it, specifics about what she did when she was president in the future. And it kept answering. And I read, someone said they call it, I think they called it, AI hallucinating or something like that. So it's a thing AI is taught to do because it has to answer.
Okay.
You know, but it's just
it's
really
like wishing.
Yeah, but it's just interesting that it's it knows exactly what she would do if she was president. And I don't know. It's it's obviously being fed some very biased information, but I just thought that was interesting that it literally told the future of Kamala as president before the election has even happened.
It's dreaming about
it's dreaming. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was weird.
That is super weird, but not
surprising.
Not surprising.
Yeah, I'm not surprised anymore.
All right. Well, let's go back to the P. Diddy thing.
Yes.
And he was also doing trafficking. So I guess some of the charges that
allegedly.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
It hasn't been You have to say that on YouTube.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, right.
Okay. In Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
In
Yeah,
Minecraft.
in Minecraft.
So allegedly,
Yeah.
he's been trafficking people as well. And so I want to talk a little bit about trafficking.
Yeah.
So in 2019, the internet was a primary method of soliciting buyers. So 83% of active U.S. trafficking cases began on the internet. I like to bring that up because these little devices here are kind of the gateway drug to all of this darkness. And, I mean, anybody that's on the internet knows that.
Yeah.
But the trafficking that goes on that P. Diddy's probably involved in allegedly is, I mean, they're literally getting children from overseas or,
Or even
disadvantaged.
disenfranchised
Yes.
children in the U.S.
Yes. And they're luring them into these acts and
Yeah.
coercing them into these acts. And
Right.
they're just kids.
I mean, it's like any border state,
Yes.
really. Like Billings, Montana. Remember when we went there?
Yes.
It's terrible. Those kids, a lot of the kids there are very disenfranchised.
Yep.
A lot of them are on the Native American, the reservations. They are picked up like apples off a tree.
It's awful.
And then taken across. I mean, this is like the thing is after the Sound of Change or Sound of Freedom movie came out, I saw a lot of Christians like, oh, this issue's overblown, blah blah blah. Like it's
Oh my
and here's the
gosh.
thing. So I have a little bit of like a mixed opinion because I do think that we've been so like inundated by the news cycle that we can see like every news report of like kids getting kidnapped. Like we see it all the time. It's readily available online.
Right.
So it kind of scares you into thinking maybe it's a slightly bigger problem than we think it is. But at the same time, like that doesn't mean it's not a huge problem.
Right.
And here's the thing is no, maybe it's not statistically as big of a problem for like your kids if you're like a suburban mom whose kids like go to like a really nice school.
Yeah.
But the thing is just because it's not going to affect your kids doesn't mean it doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay? Because the kids on the other side of the tracks, those are the ones that are being sex trafficked and
Right.
kidnapped.
Right. Kids
Because
that
they
come-
don't have anybody to protect them.
No
so it's
advocate,
like,
yeah.
So it's like just because it's not necessarily affecting your kids statistically doesn't
Yeah.
mean like it's not a major issue.
How does that work though? Because isn't that the same mantra they use with like, oh, well, we all need to care about LGBTQ kids.
Right.
Even though it's not their kid, they seem to care about that. So you care about those kids.
Oh,
but
fun
you
fact,
don't
those
care-
are also the kids that are also very often being trafficked
Yeah.
and or kidnapped and or abused.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, they care about some other people's kids, but not the trafficked kids. I mean, what
Right.
about all the kids that came over the border that have been missing since Biden took office? Where
Right.
are they?
Or how about the kids? So this is the other thing with the border is that they mix match the families, like the cartel, because they basically all the Mexican immigrants who want to get over to the U.S. illegally, they go to the cartel because they have to, because they
Yeah.
all have to go through the cartel because they guard the border. The cartel will take this family, mix them up, mix up the parents, mix up the kids, and that incentivizes all of the parents to repay the cartel to reunite them with their actual families, which also
Wow.
means their children are being mixed up with random people on both ends and probably not treated the best because their parents aren't with them. And then they get lost when they get to the U.S. They don't have a way to find their parents again unless
Right.
the parents pay the cartel and they get reunited. So that's like that's actually a pretty common thing. I don't know if there's like a name for that process, but that's something they're doing. So, it's like it's not ethical. It's not ethical for us to even be a part of that in any way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like we are incentivizing the cartel to move these people over
Right.
because we just let it happen. We just leave it wide open for them to do that. They're making a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, and don't a lot of these cartel people grab kids and bring them with them
Yeah,
to get
right.
entrance into the U.S.
Yeah,
as well? Yeah.
right.
But, kind of wrapping this all back around, I mean, here's the thing, is that there's been numerous cases. Remember that Chloe chick from Smallville?
Yes. That was so sad for me.
for you, but for her, evil.
Well, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so yeah, Chloe, the girl who played Chloe, Allison Mack. That's her name. Allison
so
Mack.
They had some sort of sex trafficking ring going on.
Yeah,
she was a little pimptress or
yeah,
something.
well, she was in one of those, like, I mean, it was a pretty prestigious,
right.
Like, basically where actresses who didn't make it super big, but made it big enough in, like, 1 or 2 roles, a lot of them gravitated to it because it was, like, a motivational group, like, self-love group.
Yeah.
Which is ironic, and what it turned out to be was grooming for sex trafficking.
Right. So you've got that, and then you have Epstein, which
we all know.
Well, we all know, but how is that just slipping away?
Oh, yeah.
You know, nothing more
Old
about
news.
that.
And, like, it's like a meme. Everyone's like, oh, Epstein didn't kill himself. It's like, hello, Epstein didn't kill himself. No one cares now? Like, what?
Yeah,
what happened?
I care about the victims of his little Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, dude,
going
Americans have, like, the memory of Dory. Like, I swear. We're like, oh, that was crazy.
Right.
Anyways, it's because we're so overloaded. Though.
Yeah, well, we are. But, I mean, just to give our listeners a little bit of a preview, and you should know this, but if you don't, I'm going to just repeat some of these numbers. So 49.6 million people are in modern slavery. 12 million of them, 12 million are children.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. That's more slavery. That is a higher number of slaves in modern day than has ever been in recorded history.
Yes.
By the way.
And 54% of them are trapped in modern slavery are women and girls.
Yeah.
So just keep in mind that this is not just women and girls, though.
No,
while
it's not.
The majority are, like 54%, there's still a huge percentage that are boys and men.
Yeah.
Sex trafficking is the most common type of trafficking in the USA. There were 88 million sexual abuse materials filed with the National Center on Missing and Exploited Children in 2022. 88 million.
Yeah.
That's content of people abusing children.
Right.
Sex trafficking has been reported in every state across the United States. It's a $150 billion industry, according to UNICEF.
That's like almost like the porn industry.
Yeah. Human trafficking is the second most profitable illegal industry in the United States. So just to give you context, I mean, this is not just some little thing. And why do we care? Why does that tie into Diddy and all these stupid Hollywood people? Because those are the buyers, okay? Those people are literally the ones generating the demand. Yeah. When you look at the statistics of who is buying pornography or children abuse pornography, it's rich, white, mostly white.
Yeah.
And there are people in professions like doctors, lawyers, politicians. So cracking open the Diddy case needs to happen because we need to know who these people are.
Yeah.
If people like Oprah or Justin Bieber and if all these people are part of that, we need to know that because there's too many people in this country that idolize and look up to these stars and think they're, people to listen to.
Yeah.
And you know what? They're people that potentially are doing harm and evil and we need to put them in prison.
Right. Yeah, so that's that. I know we didn't want to just talk about like the specific celebrities involved. There's honestly, it's probably all of them. I mean, Ashton Kutcher, like, you name it.
Yep.
Almost everybody is probably involved. Yep. I guarantee you everybody's had an interaction with this guy. Like, it's not a surprise. But so, obviously a lot of big, like, preacher and evangelicals obviously are going to get looped into this.
Yeah.
So what's interesting, though, is do you know who Bishop
TJ Maxx?
TD
Maxx.
no. TD Jakes.
Yes.
So he was really good friends with him. Okay, he's like 150 mil net worth. Okay, he's like a big name. He's mentioned in the lawsuit.
Right.
So is what was his name?
Is it Usher?
Usher. Oh, of course. Yeah, definitely Usher.
Prince Harry.
Well, no. So the thing is, though, is like, so this TD Jakes guy, and then I think it's like Torah something. I forget the other guy's name, but these two really big pastors are like good friends with Diddy. Like, they've done all kinds of stuff together.
Yeah.
They are all running in the same circle as like Priscilla Schreier and,
What? Are they really?
Oh, why are you looking at me?
No,
like
I'm
that?
just like,
okay.
I didn't know this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I'm shocked. Oh my gosh.
You gave me a weird look.
What?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
Probably my eye, because I whacked myself in the head with my microphone, and so now I have this like huge
Dude,
goose
she
egg.
didn't just whack herself in the head. That thing like snapped back and
That's
almost
why I'm
knocked
pointing-
her into yesterday.
Yeah, I have like a giant like goose egg growing out of my eyeball.
It was so sad. I felt so bad. She was trying to get us set up, and she got whacked in the face with a microphone. But yeah, so.
So wait, you're talking about So
yeah, like Priscilla Schreier, like they all like those are all prosperity teachers. They're huge names. They've written all the books. Like everybody loves them. They're very high net worth. They're at every event, and yeah, of course he ran in those circles. So. We're not really surprised. Of course he's going to hang out. That's the thing is kind of like a parasite. Him and Epstein, they leached themselves onto everybody. Like every big name. It doesn't matter who you are. He leached onto them and then blackmails them, gets them to do things. And then, that's like his whole shtick. It's not like all. I mean, honestly, for what he was trying to do, it was pretty smart. Yeah. It's disturbing and terrible. But that's how he's been around forever. And notice how he always changes his name too. Like he morphs. He's like a chameleon. He's always changing his name and kind of adapting with like the time we're in, and looks young. He's looked the same age forever. It's really weird.
It is, yeah.
But just because we know about Diddy, I guarantee there's people like him all over Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean,
it's embedded in this. Like
Hollywood.
Everybody.
I mean, how about our politicians?
Oh yeah, Congress. Our big prosperity preachers.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
But the ultimate like lesson to be learned here is that first off, there are some really evil people doing really bad things.
Yeah,
and we as Americans need to demand justice for the victims.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely for the victims.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk for a minute about
Well, I'd like to know
Justin
how they
Bieber.
became. I would like to know how did they come to be their victim? Like
because
how can
he recruited them, he groomed them. Like
Right.
Justin Bieber, he literally groomed that poor child
Oh,
when he was a
right,
kid.
right, yeah.
And the thing with like the Disney and the Nickelodeon and all these kids that get lured into these spaces, shame on their parents for not being advocates.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's no laws protecting
there's
these kids,
nothing to protect them except for their parents. And I know that abuse happens and parents don't know. I mean, there's certainly cases for that. But when you are going into Hollywood and you're taking your kid, I mean, who in their right mind would take their young child to meet P. Diddy? Wow. He has never been a good guy. Have you listened to his rap
Miley
music?
Cyrus and her dad.
Her
dad would take her to.
Have you listened to his music? The lyrics of his music, he
Yeah.
literally calls out what kind of a douchebag he is. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, is that a bad word?
Yeah, we'll bleep it.
Bleep. He is a piece of crap.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a real butthead, frankly.
A total butthead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Worse than a butthead.
Yeah.
He is a sadistic, Satan worshipping piece
Demon.
of trash.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure more will come out. He's gonna probably Epstein himself.
Oh,
obviously.
for sure.
That's why he didn't get bail, because he cannot.
Did you see the picture though of his arrest? That's not even him.
Yeah, I've seen
the head.
Yeah,
not the same.
Yeah, I've seen.
I don't buy it.
Say stuff like that. Yeah,
it looks a little sus.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a good transition to the parasitic forces of this world.
Right.
Yeah, let's talk about parasites.
Now let's talk about the parasites inside of our bodies.
Yeah.
Okay, not just these elite ones that suck the life force out of everybody in Hollywood. Okay? Is that a good transition? You
No.
Like that? Oh, okay. I cut that.
Oh my god.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Wait, let's take a moment to pause.
Okay.
Clip.
Yes.
Cut. Okay.
Oh.
All right. So now we're moving on to another disgusting, horrible, yucky topic.
Right.
Parasites. I know how much you love talking about parasites.
Yeah.
She's not sold on the parasite thing.
Yeah.
Why? Why don't you believe in parasites?
Okay, so I'm just going to be honest, and I might be wrong. I haven't done enough research about this, but to me, parasites feel like a boogeyman for like the holistic doctors now, like because obviously that's becoming more of a trend. Like people are going to holistic doctors and trying to, get to the root cause. And magically, a lot of times they're saying the root cause is these parasites that you can't really test for, you can't really necessarily see.
Right.
But apparently they're like a boogeyman. So to me, it's like, yeah, that's like a great way to make a lot of money as a natural doctor is to give you the anti-parasite medicine.
Fair.
And, you know what I'm saying? So
Fair. Yeah,
that's,
fair.
That's why I'm skeptical, but I'm open to it. Like, I don't doubt that we get parasites, but I don't think they're, it feels like a fad.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
The thing with parasites, though, is it's not really new. It's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like, just because we have the internet now, it feels like it is trending on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got parasites. And the thing is we all do have parasites.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And if you have pets, you definitely have parasites.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you
Pets
totally
are giving you parasites.
Yeah.
I don't care how clean your pet is. I don't care how many shots you give your pet. They
Yeah.
give you parasites. That's why, like, for almost all
Or
of history,
animals. Yeah.
nobody had a pet in their house,
Right.
especially in their bed.
Well, I mean, people who work on farms, I mean, they're
Yeah,
probably getting
that's why they give their pets parasitic medicine because they all have
right.
parasites.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
why there's ivermectin for your pets.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, they're gross. I mean, like, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, it says on here over 1 billion people are estimated to be infected with some type of parasite.
Right. And I think the thing is that mostly our parasites are under control if we keep our body, like, the pH levels and we keep the gut healthy and all this other stuff. But if anything gets out of whack,
Yeah.
these little poopy things,
Poopy.
they literally eat, they feed off of sugar
Yeah.
and yeast and all these, and candidas and
They
other.
thrive in the American diet.
They do. They thrive in the American
I'm
diet.
sure.
But the problem is that it's not so much that you have them; it's that they steal all your nutrients.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Right.
They're little parasites. I mean, they're parasites.
Yeah, they're
they
literal parasites.
They
Yeah.
suck all your nutrients out. So if you do have them, you could be eating healthy and doing all the right things, but they're stealing it from your body.
Right.
So the other weird thing I learned recently about parasites is that they like toxic metals. I don't know how that works.
Like
I
they
don't.
eat them?
They seem to like hoard them. So I would be curious to learn more about that. I don't know enough to actually say if it's true or not, but I saw that on a podcast that I was listening to and I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Well, so yeah, that was like in my head when I hear that, I think it's like it would make more sense if it was like the toxic metals weaken your immune system and that makes the parasites thrive more.
Yeah, that could be.
Like that makes sense, but then like I don't know, like do they eat the metal?
I don't know.
Because if they ate it,
Yeah.
that'd probably be a good thing, right?
Right, except for they're reproducing in your body.
Oh, right,
so like they're
right.
just continuing to grow. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
there's some things. So we're going to talk about a couple.
Unfortunately, you're probably not going to see a lot of research in this area for a long time.
Well, no. But the other thing that's weird is that there's been studies that show that possibly cancer is parasitic.
Yeah.
I mean, cancer cells in their nature are parasitic. They
Right.
literally
Yeah.
they divide and spread. I mean,
Right.
they're a parasitic
and they leech
cell.
off the body.
Yeah, and so it's
Yeah.
kind of interesting. That's why, like, you've seen, and I mean, I don't have any studies in front of me, but there's been studies, at least I've heard that there are, where they show that like cancer patients who take ivermectin or do a
Yeah.
deep parasite cleanse or whatever, that helps them fight the cancer. So I don't.
I've heard
we need
Paragard is like the best parasite cleanse. People, the only time I've heard people say like they've seen the results, which is disturbing and disgusting, is with Paragard. So is that something?
Paragard.
Yeah, don't you take that?
No.
Oh.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, well, it's like a vitamin, I think, or some kind of.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah,
Paragard.
Paragard. Yeah, yeah. I've heard really good things about Paragard. So
That's a new one.
Yeah.
How does Paragard work?
yeah, it has like wormwood, which you.
Oh, well,
can-
yeah. I mean, I have
Pumpkin
wormwood.
seed. It's
yeah.
like it's natural. So.
Oh,
it's,
yeah. Okay.
But
That makes sense.
clove.
Yeah. Clove.
Clove.
Yeah. Clove.
Yeah. So yeah, that's good.
So, I mean, so this is interesting. The cancer.org, okay?
Yeah.
Parasites that can lead to cancer. They even have it on the cancer.com website, which is the American Cancer Society for all you home gamers.
Yeah.
So certain parasitic worms that live inside the body can also raise the risk of developing some kinds of cancer. These organisms are not found in the United States, but can be a concern for people who live or travel to other parts of the world. And then they list out the types of parasites
Weren't like tapeworms like a fad back in like the 90s? People would like give themselves tapeworms to lose weight and stuff.
Gross.
That's how I like when you bring up parasites. That's like what I remember is like on the news and stuff. You'd hear about like people with like 70-foot tapeworms in their bodies.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
Anybody else? Leave a comment if you like are one of those people. That's what I thought all parasites were. So when you're trying to tell me everybody's got parasites, I'm like, well, that's very bad because I don't want a 70-foot tapeworm in my body.
I mean, according to Science Daily, parasitic worms cause cancer and could help cure it. So that's an interesting article. Billions, like you said, worldwide are infected with topical worms.
Tropical,
sorry.
Oh, tropical. Oh, I was like, ew, they're crawling.
Topical.
Okay,
no.
yeah.
But over 1 million worm species are classified as helminths. Wow, a single characteristic unit called parasite.
Yeah.
They take on many forms, but all of them can harm their host in some ways. And then this doctor goes on to talk about, in more bizarre cases, like they tie it to HIV/AIDS. He died of a tapeworm. Blah blah blah. So, anyways, at the minimum, if you have like overgrowth of parasites in your body, certainly it makes you a breeding ground for all sorts of other things.
Right.
So. Let's talk. Okay, so now that we've scared you, everybody's got worms. Yeah, you do. But let's talk about some ways that you can, allegedly. Oh my gosh. Let's talk about some of the foods that actually help kind of
hurt. Like raw foods.
Well, yeah, like sushi.
Like raw foods like sushi or organic vegetables.
Or pork.
Yeah.
Pork has a lot of worms.
Right. I was surprised with organic vegetables, though.
Oh, gosh. I've been, like, traumatized now.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, organic vegetables.
Recently,
well, organic vegetables all grown in Mexico are probably grown in poop.
Yeah.
And they say triple wash, but are they?
Right.
And then even if you wash it, if it's grown in it, isn't it absorbed into the... Yeah, I don't know. So, folks, let's talk about some things you can do. Garlic is really effective.
Yeah.
Clove, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Olive leaf is another one. You talked about black walnut, wormwood. Mm-hmm. These are all things. Pumpkin seeds are great. Walnuts, you can just eat walnuts. Those are good. But, I mean, keeping those types of things in your diet regularly would really help. And then eating a well-balanced diet is super important.
Yeah.
But, parasites, you've got yeast overgrowth, you've got mold, toxins, heavy metals. I mean, our bodies are under so much attack constantly that it's really just take your pick which one is going to harm you.
Yeah.
Because you may not be having a parasite problem, but you might be having a heavy metal problem, and all of it's kind of intertwined.
By the way, we do not know the answer because we're going through this right now.
Oh, yeah.
And this is something I just want to say as an aside is, like, it can be very overwhelming, like, knowing all this information. And to be honest, I don't know if anyone has an answer for it right now.
Right.
But I don't think that means that we should just pretend like it doesn't exist. Like, I think it's important for us to know. But I don't know, like, I'm wary of people who say they've got it all figured out because, first of all, like, doctors are not incentivized to research any of this because if they had answers to parasites or these root cause issues,
they'd be out of business.
They would be out of business. So, so we're not really incentivized to get answers, and you kind of have to just figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say that as, like, an aside because,
that's good.
I don't want anyone to think, like, we know what's going on. We're figuring this out. Like, you just found out you have a bunch of allergies.
Right.
So,
because of the allergies, I'm learning that parasites can actually cause you to develop these allergies because these parasites are stealing your nutrients and your gut is all screwed up and your intestine, blah, blah, blah. So I'm digging into it. I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to know. Right. But I think the important thing is that, like, knowledge is power. So knowing things and then just doing your best to navigate it. But as I was so nicely reminded today at church, too, is that we also, at some point, also just need to lean in and trust God because we don't have all the answers and we never will.
Yeah.
And
I'm
frankly,
a big believer in, like, praying over your food.
Yeah.
And really, like when you do it, like, really, really
mean it.
Really mean it. Like, don't just do it. Like, I'm trying to be better about it. Like, especially when I feed my baby and stuff. Like, I'm really like, okay, God, please bless this to our bodies.
Right.
Please, like, let this nourish our bodies and not harm our bodies.
Right.
Like,
yeah, you really have to do that.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of one of the missing elements
Yeah.
A lot of people
I
forget
forget.
that.
I think someone from Weston A. Price, I heard a lady talking about that and how
Yeah.
she does it every day.
Yep.
Or actually what she does is she buys all her groceries, she lays them out, and then she prays over it.
Ooh, that's very Joyce Meyery.
No, it's not. I like it.
I claim the
No,
food.
you don't claim it. No, she's like thanking God for all the food, and
Yes.
then she's saying like, I pray that all of this nourishes and
Yeah.
doesn't hurt my body. I like it.
No, it's cute.
I like it.
it's
It's a
cute.
good way to it's a good way to put your trust that
Yes.
God is going to nourish your body
right.
with those things.
Couldn't you do it at the checkout as you're buying
Yeah.
it too?
That would be even better.
Yeah, at
for the
Kroger's.
cashier.
Yeah. Lord, bless this tomato soup.
Yes. Right. And
Yes.
bless this cashier.
Yes, bless the
I pray she
hands
finds
that bag
yours.
it.
Yes. Yes. I like that idea.
Yes,
That's
I mean
fun.
that's fun. Well, plus it opens up a conversation.
It does.
I mean, I'm going to tell you about a funny conversation at the grocery
Oh,
store.
no.
So I'm at the Kroger's, and the checkout guy was talking about nicotine gum, and
Yeah.
he's like randomly telling me a story about his grandma who used to chew nicotine gum before bed, and she would chew it before bed, and then she'd put it on her nightstand. So she had been doing this for years and had a giant mound of chewed gum. So when she died, then he was like, yeah, dude, I was going to keep the wad of gum. And I was like, you are bagging my groceries. Why are you telling me this?
That's the best. I can't believe you're just now telling me
Oh my
this.
gosh, I thought I told you this. No, this is real life. This just happened. Bowling Green, Kentucky, bro. The Kroger's.
What?
And so your dad and I were like, oh, and then I was like, that's gross. I didn't know what to say.
awesome.
I didn't know what to say.
You said that's
I was like, that's gross. I was like, dude, don't tell me that. What the heck?
Well, he's like, this is the lady I should tell this story
I'm
to.
like, do I look like the lady that wants this story? I don't know what to say here other than that's gross.
Dude, they should pass the wad down
Yeah.
generations. They should just keep it in the family. Keep passing it down.
I was
and
like-
add to it until you get a giant human-sized wad.
Wow.
I dig it, dude. That's
Oh my gosh,
crazy.
yeah.
Wow.
So anyways.
That's awesome.
So Parasites. That's really all we have
Parasites.
to add about Parasites. That we're learning about those, and
Yeah.
as we learn more, we will share more with you.
Yeah.
So
I wish there was more research on it. That's
with all the AI
yeah.
and all these smart people, it's like, could we develop a system where you could literally take all of your stuff and all of your blood work, and you could upload it and
All of
trust,
it, yeah.
and trust that the little AI would digest it and be like, oh, you need more of this in your life, less of that. I mean, why do we not have that?
One thing.
Why?
Yeah. And what's interesting, so you did that heavy metal testing, and like you did,
Yeah.
then you did like the full body, like
Yeah.
the full
exam.
testing. Yeah. And it's interesting too because it's like, so not only can you get your heavy metals tested by blood, you can get them tested by hair, urine, saliva, spit. All of that's different. It's going to be different for every type of sample you use. And then on top of it, they showed you like when you have like a copper and magnesium or like you have to keep them balanced
Right.
too. So like there's so many factors
Right.
in these tests. It's like you almost literally have to give like all the samples, like all the different kinds, saliva, spit,
Right.
hair, and get all the different like balance testing done
Yeah.
to get like the truest picture. Because I feel like if you just do a generic like blood test or a generic like hair test,
Yeah.
you're still not getting the full
Right.
picture.
Well, and the other thing is that the blood test will show different than the hair test
it will, and
because
the skin test too.
yeah, but there's a reason for that because of the way that the body metabolizes
Yep.
and stores
Right.
heavy metals. They get stored in fat cells,
Yep.
and so your hair is actually going to be more
Yeah.
revealing,
Right.
because it excretes through that or something. But
Yeah.
like your blood, like your blood actually doesn't want toxic metals in it. So if it gets in there, your liver and all that
It's
stuff,
quicker to get
it'll
it
get
out.
it out. So
Right.
you really can't, like, it's immediate exposure that
Yep.
would show in your blood.
Yeah.
So your hair is a little easier to kind of like, oh, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, but yeah, you have to take all of it and dump it into like this giant AI bubble mix thing and poop out some results.
Yeah, someone needs to make that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's our request. Can
there's
someone
all
make
these
that?
biohackers out there. You know who you are. I listen to your
Dave.
podcast. Dave, our buddy
Dave.
Dave. Yeah, big
Come on,
old Dave.
Dave. Yeah.
Dave, you're smart. You're a computer guy.
That would be a great. Wait, we should cut this out and just do
Dave.
this ourselves. Let's work with Dave. Dave, we got some
Dave,
ideas.
we got some ideas. We're going to give you a little shout.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's tough. I mean, honestly, if I could go back in time and like before we started going to like traditional doctors and going down the whole rabbit hole and wasting so much money and time, I wish I could just go back, save all that money, and put it towards testing. Test, and then test over a period of time. Like spend a year testing. You know what I'm saying? Don't go and get a bunch of scopes, and don't be getting signed on to a bunch of medications, because then you can't get a true look at what's going on in your body. And then after you test, then you can start the, like, I guess you could call it like the experimental period.
Right.
I think, actually, let's back up. This is my idea. So what you should do if you have health issues and you don't know what's going on with your body, spend 1 year getting lots of tests done over different periods of time, when you're stressed, when you're tired, when you're traveling, when you're at home, all throughout the year. Okay, get a bunch of testing done as much as possible so you have a baseline. The next year, maybe for like 6 months, do an elimination diet. Eliminate. Try to stay on something really simple, like a real simple, maybe like a carnivore or like some kind of really, really, really simple diet. And then start the reintroduction, and then go into the experiment phase and start trying out like different supplements. Like after you do the testing, get some more done, and then see what helps your body. And obviously I recommend finding a good naturopathic doctor, obviously, but I don't know, I feel like that might be a better way, because if you go into it and what most people do is you go to a traditional doctor, they get you on all the medication, they do all these different, their version of testing, which is like, oh, I'll do one test from your blood, not the full panel, I'll test one specific thing, and then I'll give you this medication. And then it's like a whole rabbit hole you got to go down at that point. So
Right. Yeah, testing.
sorry, I just had a lot of coffee, so I just had
testing
to
is
share
the
that.
way. That's all right. I have a concussion, so I'm good. I'm literally.
You are kind of looking
I
at
know.
me like,
I'm like,
don't take a nap. I can't let
dude.
you take a nap.
Oh my
now.
gosh. I kind of feel like I want a nap right now, dude. I just whacked my head so hard. This lump is so. Y'all
No,
don't
she might have a
understand.
concussion.
Oh my
Can
gosh.
we say a prayer for your Karen?
Oh my gosh. Jake's gonna put some sort of like video with like a giant
Like
lump
like
growing out of my
Looney
head. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get a horn. Oh my gosh, this is great.
Oh no.
It's bad.
It's tough.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think testing is smart, but you know, I think it's even hard to find good naturopathic doctors.
It
There's
is.
so many, and they all like
Scammy.
claim and I mean, because at the end of the day, they are all about let's find the root cause, but it's like
You also want to make money.
yeah, so they also don't want to put themselves out of business.
Right.
So it's like, so there's too much, you know.
It's a lot. It is a lot. And I think I noticed a lot of people are starting to fall off like the non-toxic wagon. I'm seeing a lot of people get very frustrated, and they're just like, dude, I'm done. I give up. I mean, I felt like that at times. I'm like, dude, why do I try? Why do I take all these supplements and try so hard when it just feels like
you're being worked against? all the time?
Yeah, but I just have to believe that I'm one of those people who I like to rule out as many things as I can, so at least I can say I tried.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I at least tried my best to have a healthy-ish lifestyle, as healthy as I could, as non-toxic as I could, and that's all I can do. So anything that, you know, is wrong with me or whatever that I can't fix, it's like, that's in God's hands. I'm just going to do what I can.
Yeah, I think that's a good mantra.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, that brings the Parasite episode to a close. I know we probably left you with more questions than answers, but that's kind of where we're at. I do have a concussion, so I
she
think
needs to go ice her head.
I think
Mike attacked.
I think I need to get an ice pack immediately.
Yeah.
So, you know, we put a lot of heart and soul and take physical abuse
We literally
to do
got
this.
abused. Yeah.
I literally have an abused head.
Dude, I watched it like when you were trying to set it up, and it
Oh my
swung back
gosh.
to try to get you
Oh,
again, and I was
this-
like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. So
Shore mic is danger.
it is danger.
It's a good quality mic, but it's got the torque
Whoa,
to it.
yeah. So just know that we put our heart and soul and
We
our
do.
bodies at risk
Yeah.
to do this podcast.
We're
so
at risk.
we would like you to like and subscribe.
Please.
Please, just like and subscribe. We are going to get better.
Yes. better strong. It's like a Kamala speech.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, did you
The
see
coconut tree?
Did you see her speech?
No.
She's oh my gosh, watch her interview with Oprah.
Oh, she did an interview with Oprah.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
we'll do
good.
an episode on that, a short or something, because
good?
you can't even talk about it for very long because you're like, is this real? Like,
Really?
It's that
oh,
bad.
man, I haven't seen
Yeah,
it. I'll
we'll check
watch
it out. But be sure to like and subscribe. And until next time, or if I make it till next time, we'll
Short
see ya.
might take her out.
Yeah, the short mic might take me out. So y'all take care. Peace out.